Hi, and welcome to the last season 1 of Coffee with Kevin. It's been a pretty interesting ride for season 1. We tried to do what we're calling a hybrid series where you got a little bit of video, you got some audio, and you got some written material as well, articles and stuff on the blog. Hope that you enjoyed everything this season. And so what we were talking about in the office, this is the time of year that we start going and looking at projects for the third and fourth quarter, first quarter of the coming year. And those projects typically are applications that we're building for clients or immersive AR experiences that are of the larger size. And we thought maybe what we would do is during, it's summertime now, we're leading into it, is talk to you guys a little bit really quick about planning out an application. If you're by a campfire this summer or you're on vacation at the beach and you're thinking about work, which they say not to, but if you're like me, you always have to be connected. Just a couple things to think about when you start working with a development team. Hopefully these couple of tips will help you out and speed up your project and make it very enjoyable for both sides, the development team and yourself. So the first thing that I would say is really think about what it is you want. And I know that there's a lot of times when we're in meetings, the client knows what they want, but they can't express it because they don't understand the terms. So one of the best things that you could do for your development and design team is pull out a pencil and paper, old school, and draw a rough sketch. We call those wireframes. And all they have to do is be boxes and lines where you want text, boxes for imagery, and get an idea. Even if you don't know the technical term, that's a visual that you could show the development and design team that'll help them see what you're trying to convey or the feature that you want to have in your application. It doesn't have to be a Picasso. I say to students of mine all the time when we get into advanced 3D and we do application design and such, that everything is really, when it comes to design, if you really take it down to the simplest element, boxes and circles and rectangles and triangles. And honestly, we've been doing those since we're able to put something in our hand. So I believe that you can do that. The other thing that I would really think about is when you are meeting with your developers or your design firm that's going to be working on the application with you, one thing that we find at VizVibe is we have weekly meetings with the client and the team. Now, sometimes these meetings are 5 minutes, sometimes these meetings are an hour or two. It really depends on where you're at in the process. But what's important about it is it helps you as the client or the person that's getting the application built for you. It helps you realize what we're looking at, where we're at with the project, and so on. But the other thing that it helps is for both sides to keep the content coming that's needed to build the application out for you. The other big one that's usually in the room, the elephant that's in the room, is when you start talking development. A lot of times, the first thing that comes to everybody's mind is, what's the price? What's it gonna cost me? What's it gonna cost me? The easiest thing in this process for you to do is to really think about what it is you want right now. What is going to make your life better? What's going to make your client's life better? Whatever the application you're thinking about designing and developing, what are the main features that could help you solve a problem or that could help your clients solve a problem? What are those features? And we call that phase 1. A lot of times people will automatically think the price is going to be astronomical and it's going to take forever to do the entire app. At VizVibe, we do it a little bit differently. We break down the development process in phases. That way we can get an MVP out faster for you to get feedback from your users. So then we can do, that's phase 1. Then we could roll into phase 2, the feedback that we were getting, and then into phase 3 if we needed, and so on. What that does is a couple of things. A, it really helps you focus on the features that you want and get rid of the stuff you don't. B, what it does is it allows you to not have that huge upfront cost that everyone is very leery about. And what it allows you to do is to break it out into different parts throughout the year or however long it takes to develop the app that you're looking for. So again, all that planning in the beginning, that's going to help you and it's going to help us as developers. And it's okay to not put things in that first phase. It's okay to say, you know what, that's probably a phase 2 thing because we want it, but we really don't need it right now. And what that allows you to do is build an app that's scalable. And that's very important too. For those of you that aren't the developers or the designers, make sure whatever team you're working with understands that the application that they're building for you, whether it's web-based, whether it's app-based, is built to scale. That they're not going to reinvent the wheel every time you need to do an update, every time you do a different phase. If you go in with that knowledge saying, all right, I could scale this app, that really helps you break it into phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and so on. But for the pricing wise, one of the things that's, and I get it, I have a company, and when I have vendors come in or I'm looking at software myself, that's something that VizVibe wouldn't build. I know, I think the same thing, like how much is this gonna cost? What's the licensing fee and so on. The best thing that you can do is don't ask right away for a developer or a design team to ballpark. That's not fair to the designer and developer because they don't have all your information yet. And it's not fair to you because a lot of people will ballpark high. One thing that I don't do is we don't talk price. We talk at first, what is it that you want? What is it that could be in phase 2, could be in phase 3? And then I'll go back and say, all right, for phase 1, it's gonna be this, phase 2, it would be this, and phase 3, it'll be that. Because I can give you a more accurate quote than if you asked me to ballpark right off the bat. Because every application, even if it's in the same genre of another application, there's always something different. There's a new feature, there's something that needs to be added. The feedback that you get from beta testing, that's going to change your project as you go along. So I would keep an eye on pricing. And all of the planning before that is going to help you guys hone down what the cost is going to be to you as you go through each one. And then the final tip that I would have is be excited and be part of the process and get the feedback. And this is the hardest one. Any developer or designer that you work with, whether it's for a website, whether it's for a web app, whether it's for a native app, hybrid app, whatever it is that you're building, there should be a beta test in each phase where you put it out and don't invite like your cousin, your brother or sister, your parents, whatever. They're gonna love whatever it is that you're building because you're building it, right? So when you go to do it, make sure that every phase has at least one. Sometimes we do 2 or 3 betas, and we get really good feedback from it. Don't let the betas go long. Have it at a set time. This beta is going to be for 3 weeks, and you're going to be focusing on the user experience. Gather that feedback from the people that are doing the beta. Share it with your design. Well, the designers and developers would share it with you, and then you can make the tweaks before you launch your app. What it's going to do is just make a better product all the way around for you, your clients, and so on. So don't be afraid of the feedback with the beta, because sometimes you're going to hear something that's like, wow, I didn't even realize that was something that people wanted. Or you might be all like into a certain feature that you think everyone's going to love, and then you find out like, wow, like 95% of the people that did the beta testing didn't really care for it. That kind of feedback helps you build a better product, a better application. So I hope that you enjoyed Coffee with Kevin Season 1. We're looking forward to Season 2. We have some pretty interesting stuff coming up. And enjoy your time off from Coffee with Kevin. And I hope to see you back. And remember to share and follow us. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. It's Kevin Jones. You can search for VizVibe or VizVibe. Follow us on social media and stay in touch. Cheers.